Hi students, good morning. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Come on. Yes. Shall we begin the story again? Come on. Okay, well done. See, once again, I wanted to tell you one thing. First of all, good morning. Next thing, when we discuss about families, intentionally from the NCRT book, they have removed families. The reason, it is a lot of memory based, and also it's a kind of old concept of morphology. Of course, we need to study the morphology, but these technical terms, etc., are just confined to some kind of part of botany. Okay, that's why slowly they wanted to avoid the families. In that, there has been given few families in recent NCRT book, and in the old book there were few more families are there. But knowingly or unknowingly, under the syllabus, maybe there was a missing of coordination between the people who have written the syllabus for the NEET exam and those people who are printed the NCRT book. That's the reason why there are some families which were mentioned in NEET syllabus by prescribed by NTA and the CBSE NCRT book, they are not matching. Anyhow, since they have mentioned it in the syllabus, in the NTA syllabus, we are talking about the families. But one problem we will face, all those descriptions that are related to families, there are so many morphological features are there. It's not that we talk about calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium, very few fundamental parts of morphology. There are many things are there regarding to each and every floral part. But all those informations are not mentioned in NCRT book. If they suddenly wanted to be described a family and its character in depth, that's not possible to fathom a normal CBSE board student. Not only for CBSE board student, those people who are even preparing exclusive for NEET also, they could not able to understand. That's why what to remember, you must be very particular about the families. If you try to by heart each and every line that is given in the families, that would take lot of time, and also that time will not going to be useful for you, because while they are framing the question must be framed based on the content given in NCRT book. So related to the families, whatever the component that are given in NCRT textbook, you have to compare, which means there is a statement given in a particular family. Is this information exactly notified in the morphological characters of a particular character or not? I mean, for example, let me talk about this. When we study about aestivation, there is a concept called waxillary aestivation. This waxillary aestivation typically exhibited by the family Fabaceae, which has papillonaceous corolla. Now here you need to remember, in that there are some kind of petals which are fused, which are free. So how to remember that? Comparatively you need to understand based on NCRT book. Other than that, what are the plants are there in the family Fabaceae, list of them and their characters and their usages, and then if you are describing like that, it would be a never ending process. That's why confined to the content that is given in the NCERT book related to a particular family. Do you understand? Imagine one statement I will give you. There is a family called Malvaceae. In the whole description of morphology in the NCERT book, they have never mentioned anywhere this is Malvaceae family. But we have studied so many characters that related to cotton, hibiscus. Do you remember the statement? About hibiscus, everywhere we are coming across one particular statement. It may be about aestivation, or it may be about placentation, or it may be about any kind of stamens union, etc. etc. features we are discussing about China rose. The China rose belongs to a family called Malvaceae. Like that, we need to comparatively understand and remember that. Instead of that, if you are trying to by heart the things, it's going to be a never ending process. Is it clear? That's why my way of discussion is here. I will take some families which are prescribed by NTA syllabus. In that family, what content is important, I will elaborate. If the content is not that much useful for us, I will explain, but I will slowly skip out that content. Be careful. If I say this information is given in our NCERT book, underline it, and also keep those statements in your NCERT book or in your material in a clear pattern, because there may be a chance of question coming from that area. Clear? Then come back to the story. There is a family called Fabaceae or Legumineaceae. Now, one thing I wanted to say about this family. This family we have been studying from 7th and 8th class onwards. How? We have a concept that is symbiosis, rhizobium, root nodule. There is a bacterium that fixes nitrogen in the root nodules of Legumineaceae family or legumes. In lowermost classes they say legumes. In little bit higher classes they may say particular plants like pea, bean, etc. And if you go to some other higher level of classes, they are using the word Fabaceae or Legumineaceae. But in that criteria, what are the contents we need to remember regarding to the particular family? Is it okay? Then come back to the statement. Fabaceae, old name is Legumineaceae. Later, nowadays it is calling it as Fabaceae. It has another name that is Papillonoideae. It's a kind of order name, or anyhow, it is a Papillonaceae. Sometimes it is called, but altogether it is called as Fabaceae. This family earlier was called Papillonoideae, a subfamily of Legumineaceae. It is distributed all over the world. When it comes to the word all over the world, what does it mean by all over the world? Do these plants present in Antarctica? In the area where there are no plants at all. Their meaning of the saying all over the world is it may be tropical, heat climates, subtropical, moderate temperature, and also temperate climatic zones. In all climatic zones, these plants can able to survive. That is their meaning. It's not that there is an area called desert. In the desert, these plants, I have seen these kind of stupid questions raised by the students. Do these, sir, they have mentioned here, these plants are surviving all over the world. Do they survive in a desert? Even there you cannot survive. Then how does a plant survive? Do you understand? Their meaning of the saying is all over the world means all kinds of climatic zones. Next one. Vegetative characters. Trees, shrubs, herbs, root with root nodule. Underline that statement. Root with root nodule. Now, the concept is this. When it comes to Fabaceae members, the well-known concept of Fabaceae members, they have symbiotic association with some variety of bacteria known as rhizobium, and in the rhizobium it can able to fix nitrogen in the form of ammonia in their roots. For the sake of for the sake of fixation of nitrogen in the roots, they have an area called root nodule. Now let me confirm this one. If anybody technically asking this statement, Do the Legumineaceae plants fix nitrogen? Definitely not. They do not fix nitrogen. Nitrogen fixation ability is there with bacteria, that is rhizobium. That rhizobium will be placed in an area called nodule. Those nodules are produced by our Legumineaceae members. That is the concept. But most often we say Legumineaceae members can able to fix nitrogen in their root nodules. Actually, Legumineaceae members never fix nitrogen in their nodules. In the nodules, there is a bacterium called rhizobium. That is the one which fixing nitrogen. Next question. Do all Legumineaceae members fix nitrogen? Obviously not. Are you getting the idea? Now, whoever fix nitrogen, all are Legumineaceae members. That is also wrong. But typically, most of the root nodules producing plants are Legumineaceae members. Even some Legumineaceae members produces stem nodules even. But altogether, there is a concept of root nodule in Fabaceae members. Is it okay? Stem erectus are climbers. There are some plants in the Fabaceae member, especially our old famous Pisum sativum. This plant is a climber. Leaves alternate, pinnately compound or stipulate. Now one thing we need to remember about related to leaves in Fabaceae members, that is pulvinous leaf base. Pulvinous. What do you mean by pulvinous? Pulvinous leaf base, when we were talking about the leaf, we have mentioned there is a swollen petiole is present. The swollen petiole is called pulvinous leaf base. Next, stipulated. This is also you need to remember well. Most of the monocots do not have any stipules. Is it okay? Most of the members do not have any kind of stipules, but I mean monocots I'm talking about, clear. But when it comes to dicots, some of them will have stipules, but among them most of the dicots will have exstipulated bodies, but Fabaceae members are stipulate. You need to remember about leaf. About root, what you need to remember, they have root nodules. Anyhow, tell me, Fabaceae members are dicots or monocots? Of course, they are dicots. What type of root system they have? Taproot system. In the taproot system, they can form root nodules to fix nitrogen. Very good. Next one, venation is reticulate. Why do you say venation is reticulate? They are dicots. Obvious explanation. Next one, floral characters. This is something we need to remember regarding to flower of Fabaceae members. That is their papillonaceous corolla. That is special. Okay. Anyhow, let us discuss all the character. Inflorescence, racemose. Remember, racemose inflorescence generally common. Cymose inflorescence little rare. I'm not saying exactly how to follow. General to say. But when we were talking about Solanaceae family, do you remember I was mentioning about it in the form of cymose inflorescence. Solanaceae members are having cymose inflorescence. Here, Fabaceae members are typically possess racemose inflorescence. Flowers, bisexual usually, and also typical thing about zygomorphic flowers. Do you remember this word? Zygomorphic flowers. Zygomorphic flowers are having what type of symmetry? Zygomorphic flower is having bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry. Zygomorphic. Pea, bean, gulmohar. Do you remember these names we have learned regarding to the zygomorphic symmetry of a flower? Among them, pea, bean or belongs to our Fabaceae member. Important. Very few flowers will have zygomorphic symmetry. Mostly, if you do not remember their name, if it is a Fabaceae member, put it zygomorphic flowers. Pentamerous, hypogynous. I told you already, among the families that we are going to discuss, the only one family will be having epigynous flower. That should be Asteraceae. Remaining all families are having hypogynous flower. I will not repeat this statement. Hereafter, remember. Only in Asteraceae, epigynous flower. Remaining all flowers, all plants are having all families, I mean to say, are having hypogynous flower over there. Hypogynous flower means the ovary is superior. Okay. Calyx, pentamerous, gamocephalous, fused, important. Gamocephalous, valvate or imbricate distribution. Okay. Corolla, petals 5, very important. Polypetal, one thing we talk about polypetalous. Am I right? Imagine there are 5 petals in case of Fabaceae members. They will be arranged like 1 plus 2 plus 2. This is fused. Petals are 1, 2, last 2 are fused, which is called as keel. Now, what I wanted to make it special, remember, if it the gamopetalous condition, petals must be fused. Polypetalous condition, petals must be free, isn't it? But here, some petals are free, some petals are fused. That's a speciality. Some are free, some are fused. If in the case, even then one is or 2 are fused, you have to mention it as polypetalous. Polypetalous. Exactly, if they wanted to ask the thing, petals of Fabaceae members are partially fused. Okay. Next one. Papillonaceous corolla. Why do you call it as papillonaceous? Because papillos means butterfly. Butterfly shaped corolla is the special character of Fabaceae members. That's why sometimes it is also called Papillonaceae. Consisting of posterior standard, you just see here. This is the arrangement of papillonaceous corolla over there. This is standard petal. Always standard petal present towards posterior side. Do you remember what do you mean by posterior? Posterior means towards the mother axis. And there are 2 petals which are lateral inside. They are called wings. And there are 2 more petals which are fused. We call them as keel. Total 5. This is called vexillium or standard petal. These are called wings. These are called keel. Okay. Now, over there, this is the arrangement in the NCERT book what they have mentioned. This is special. In case of Fabaceae members, altogether, entire flower covered by the standard petal, the one which we call it as vexillium. Vexillium cover up all the petals and the arrangement will be appear like a butterfly shape. That's why it is called papillonaceous corolla. 2 lateral, anterior 2 are fused. They are called as keel. The keels are responsible for enclosing stamens. Nearer to stamen, who is present? Keel. This is about their arrangement. And this is the image in old NCERT book that they have mentioned. Next one. About stamen and roscium or stamens, you need to remember they have a condition called as diadelphy. What do you mean by diadelphy? Stamens united only with respect to their filaments. Filaments are fused. The condition is called adelphy. While they are fusing, stamens fused in the form of 2 bundles. One is a large bundle, another one is a small bundle in case of Fabaceae members. This stamen is called diadelphous. What do you call that, ma? Diadelphous. Important. Diadelphous stamens. What does it mean by diadelphous stamens? There are 2 bundles of filaments fused stamens, not anthers. Only filaments fused stamens. Anthers if fused, the condition is called as syngenesious. Do you remember that? When they fuse all together, filaments, anthers, all are fused, that's called synandrous. Anyhow, diadelphous stamen, 9 plus 1. This is fused, this is free. Next one. Anthers diathecous. This is common. The only one family that is has anther, monothecous, Malvaceae. Remaining families are having diathecous. Next one. Tetrasporangi. If the Dithecus is there. Sporangium is tetrasporangium. Nothing to be special over there. Remember about their leaf, pelvinate leaf base. About their petals, they have papillonaceous corolla. About their androecium, diadelphous androecium. These three things you should never forget regarding to Fabaceae. Next one, gynoecium. Ovary superior, monocarpellary, unilocular, many ovules, style single. What do you mean by style single? When you talk about, okay, stigma and style. Remember, to stigma, there are many styles could be operated. If there is a stigma, style, ovary, this is called single style. Okay. Next, fruit, legume. The legume fruit has a special name called pod. This word pod we will see in genetics. Pod shape, pod color studied by Mendel. Do you remember? Next one, seed. Seed is dicotyledonous, typical dicotyledonous seeds and non-endospermic. In which family of dicots, as I told you, there is an endospermic seed would be present? Solanaceae. Remaining all dicots will have non-endospermic seeds. Then, floral formula, simple, zygomorphic, bisexual, petals are 5, all are fused. Carpel, corolla, 1, 2, 2, last 2 are fused. Androecium, 9 plus 1, that is 9 fused, 1 is free. And gynoecium, that is monocarpellary, superior ovary. Flower is hypogynous flower, ovary is superior. Then economic importance. Most of the members of Fabaceae members are producing the seeds which are having high quantity of protein. Those protein rich seeds we call them as pulses. Do you remember that? So most of them are the good source of protein. Over there, food plants, arhar, kajanas kajan, by using them PGNP, by using them we make variety of household curries, sambar, etc. would be made by with this. Channa, very well known. Matar, that is green pea. Matar is a Hindi name. Moong bean, that is green gram. Soya bean and moongfali, that is Hindi name moongfali, which means groundnuts. Arachis hyphosia. Then another question they have mentioned. Do we need to remember all the scientific names of the plants? Be careful. If the name has been mentioned in our NCERT book, you have to by heart it. If the name did not mention in the NCERT book, no need to worry about it. Fodder, berseem, that is Trifolium sesbania. Trifolium sesbania are used as fodder. They are animal protein rich food, sesbania. Fibers, sunhem, Crotalaria gentiana. By using them, they prepare linen cloth. Linen cloth that is prepared from the fibers of sunhem. Timber, Dalbergia siso, Dalbergia latifolia. Remember, Dalbergia siso, sesame wood. Dalbergia latifolia, it is generally called as Indian rosewood. Be careful, sesame wood, rosewood are not the same. Both are may belongs to same family, but both are not same. Sesame wood little bit less cost, but both appear similar. Dyes, blue dye, Indigofera tinctoria. From these leaves, they extract blue dye. Before the commercialization of all these dyes, the original blue dye was extracted from the leaves of Indigofera tinctoria. Next one, Liliaceae. Remember, Muliati, it has been mentioned in our NCERT book, it is used as medicinal plant. For what purpose of medicine they are providing? They are generally prepared as cough syrup. Cough syrup. Olden days, the cough syrup was our muliate. Sweet pea and lupin, both are belongs to ornamental plants. Again, we need to by some part. So whenever you study about them, you take a paper and one or two times write. One time write, you will leave something, check it. Another time write, you will be perfect in that. You have to do a little work. That's about family Fabaceae. Solanaceae I have described in earlier class. Next one, let us talk about the family Liliaceae. Family Liliaceae. It is a monocot family. Most famous plants in that family, lily, tulip, gloriosa, and also that is some kind of anti-cancerous drug extracted from, you know, colchicum autumnale. These are the plants which are very famous in that. But most common plants in that family, one is aloe vera, allium cephas, allium sativum. That is garlic and our onion. Okay. So Liliaceae, it's a monocot family. Don't forget, all the characters of monocot family should be applied. Commonly called lily family, it's a characters representative of monocotyledonous plants. It is distributed worldwide. My dears, when it comes to monocotyledonous families, in that monocotyledonous family, two families we are going to study in the list. One is, okay, Liliaceae. Another one is Poaceae or Gramineaceae, that we will study in the last. But remember, these two families are monocot. Poaceae is the largest family among the angiosperms. Liliaceae is the representative family of monocots. I wanted to study about monocots. When it takes Poaceae family, there are many members are there in the Poaceae family. I could not able to explain all of them. That's why simple family under the monocots, that is Liliaceae. It is distributed vegetative characters. Perennial herbs, they can survive for many years with underground bulbs and culms and rhizomes. Remember, we know bulbs, you know, allium cepha, allium sativum are bulbs. Tell me what is a bulb? When we were studying about morphology, tell me about bulb. Bulb means it's an underground small concise stem which does not store any food. It's always present at the base of a swollen leaf. Yes or no? Over there, bulb. Culms. You know culms. We have studied some examples of the culms, that is Colocasia, Amorphophallus. They are culms. Culm is a vertically growing underground stem. Why they have mentioned here culm? I will tell you one family member of Liliaceae, that is colchicum. Colchicum autumnale. Colchicum. This one you will study in several places. Colchicum autumnale. It's a kind of plant in which there is a development of culm, underground stem. From the culm, they extract a chemical called colchicine. Colchicine commonly called it as mitotic poison. Mitotic poison. This mitotic poison does not allow the spindle fibers to elongate. When spindle fibers do not elongate, ultimately there will be no cell division or mitosis. Then cell division will be interrupted. By knowing this property of, okay, by knowing this property of colchicine, it has been used during anti-cancerous treatment. What is the relation between the cell division and cancer? Irregulated cell division is nothing but cancer. Do you follow my statement? That's why it was used as anti-cancerous drug. But when it comes to plants, in the plant there is no concept of cancer, because plants do have tumors, but there is no concept of cancer. Plants do not die due to the development of tumors in their body. But when it comes to plants, what usages are there with related to colchicine? In plants, this colchicine is used for the development of polyploidy. Polyploidy. when I will begin the process of cell division, I will elaborate the discussion regarding to them, but keep it in mind, there has been a usage of it for different purposes. Next one, it is extracted from corms of Colchicum autumnale. Rhizomes, okay. Leaves, mostly basal. What do you mean by basal leaf? Basal leaf. For example, if I take one stem, let me take aloe vera. We all have seen this aloe vera. How these leaves will develop? Like this. They never develop like this. Do you understand? So over there, all the leaves are coming like a base of the stem. Such kind of parts are called, such kind of leaves are called basal leaves. Is it okay? And alternate, linear, exstipulate. Exstipulate. In one family so far I have mentioned which has stipules. Do you remember what was the family? Fabaceae. When I was talking about Fabaceae, I told you when there is a family that belongs to monocot, generally does not possess stipules. That's why monocots of our Liliaceae members do not have stipules. Parallel venation. That will be a universal truth because monocots do have parallel venation. Next one, go to the floral characters. When you talk about floral characters, one thing special about floral characters in Liliaceae members, they don't have distinguished calyx and corolla. Calyx and corolla will be fused and there is an appearance of perianth members. The members of the perianth are called tepals. Clear? Next, in the flower, another character. Flowers are trimerous. I think you may be recall when I was talking about merosity, if the flower is trimerous, monocots, tetramerous, pentamerous, that should belongs to dicot. Since they are monocot, flowers are trimerous. Another extraordinary feature, they have stamens, maybe 3 or 6 stamens, most probably 6 over there. These stamens will be attached on the surface of perianth members called tepals. That situation is called as epiphyllous, or you can notify it as epitepalous. Clear? Then floral characters. Inflorescence, solitary cymos of often umbellate clusters. This is all the flowers will be originated from a common point. All will be arranged at the same height. This arrangement is called umbel inflorescence. Umbel. Okay? It's a variety of cymose inflorescence. Flowers. Bisexual actinomorphic flowers. So far I have discussed about 3 families. Over there, one family we have seen zygomorphic flowers. Do you recall that family? Fabaceae. Next one, tepals, 6, often united to tube. Underline that, ma. Tepals are 6. Perianths appear like tube. Valvate situation, that's okay. Androecium, stamen 6. Epitepalous, very important. Epitepalous. Do you remember what does it mean by epitepalous? Epitepalous means, which is also called epiphyllous. Epiphyllous, attached on the surface of tepals. Epitepalous. Gynoecium, tricarpellary, syncarpous. Of course, tricarpellary because monocots. Ovary superior, superior ovary. What do you mean by superior ovary? Flowers are hypogynous. That's what I told you. Only Asteraceae members will have inferior ovary or epigynous flower. Remaining all hypogynous. Trilocular with many ovules. Axial placentation. Okay. Fruit capsule. Rarely berry. No need to worry. Seeds are endospermic. Come on. How do you decide randomly the seeds are endospermic in this family? Reason, the monocot families generally possess endospermic seed. I told you there is a monocot, but still it does not have endosperm. Orchids. That's not, okay, this family, but I am telling orchids. Orchids are the monocots without endosperm. Next one, floral formula. Consider this. They have bract, actinomorphic flowers, bisexual. P stands for perianth. They have 3 plus 3, inner layer, outer layer, and there is an arrange attachment of them. And androecium, 6, 3 plus 3. This androecium attached to this one. Careful, boys. Here, this line is this one. Are you following what I am saying? Here, perianth. This is the line. This has been missed out, not completely written. This is the one. Tricarpillary syncarpus gynoecium, superior ovary. And economic importance. Food, onion, garlic. Do we use them as food? Are they food? Generally, garlic would be used as spice, onion used as vegetable. That's their meaning of food. Note. Now, one thing what I wanted to say. Whenever you press a lobe of garlic or a leaf of onion, we get a kind of smell. That onion smell is due to sulfur, especially cysteine, an amino sulfur containing amino acid cysteine. Do you recall those sulfur containing amino acid? Methionine, cysteine over there. Cysteine, it is the amino acid that is present excessively in our onion and garlic leaves. Over there, whenever we consume them, it has been mentioned that they have some properties that, the sulfur which we consume through garlic and onion, which has some medicinal usage. It may going to clean our arteries around the heart. It has been mentioned it is going to be useful for avoiding of heart attacks. That's the conclusion. Anti-diabetic property. Pungent smell is due to sulfur containing cysteine. They say here anti-diabetic property. That's also mentioned that somewhere else it is going to reduce some blood sugar level. So once upon a time, our people, they have been using them for different types of Ayurvedic medicine. That's why they have been mentioned. Asparagus, it is used as vegetable. Asparagus, we don't use it very often in South India, but in North Indian and some other northeast states, they often use this asparagus. Mostly this asparagus grow in cold climatic conditions. That's why in that area they can often use it. Ornamental plants, lily, tulip, gloriosa superba. I wanted to show you some members of them. I think I have bought them. See, the members of the family, Liliaceae. Okay, varieties of them are there. Aloe vera, well known to us. This is asparagus. This one, gloriosa superba. These are snake plants, etc., etc. They mention. This is, it's a variety of plant. Often we take it in the form of saffronin. Saffronin is also belongs to the family Liliaceae. Tulip. Okay, well done. Consider this. Medicinal usage. Aloe vera. Aloe, there is a chemical extracted from aloe. I think everyone nowadays know about aloe vera. It has so many skin rejuvenating properties, and also so many herbal medicines taken by the patients are having this aloe vera. Okay, over there, the chemical that is extracted from aloe vera, that's called aloe. It's a kind of purgative. Purgative means it clean our stomach. Actually, there is a chemical that is laxative. It create more bowel movement and excess of waste from our large intestine will be removed. But this is purgative. Purgatives are those kind of chemicals. If there are any kind of parasites inside our stomach, those parasites could be eliminated with the help of these purgatives. This thing is purgative chemical. The juice of the leaves used as skin tonic and it increases our eyesight. Okay, garlic. It's very useful for heart diseases. That's what I told you. Once upon a time in our India there was a culture. We used to boil the garlic. Nowadays usage of the garlic is confined to some kind of curries in the household, but randomly they used to eat this garlic by heating it on directly on the surface of the fire, so they used to consume it. That's why the reason behind less heart attack in olden days. That's maybe rheumatism and diabetes. What do you mean by rheumatism? Not romanticism, it's rheumatism. Rheumatism indicate joint pains. Be careful, ma. Something that is related to joints, they will say rheumatic. Rheumatos means joints in Greek. Over there, rheumatoid arthritis, rheumatic fever, there are some kind of things are there. Joint pains, what all they indicate? Joint pains. Diabetes, controlling up. Next, another one, colchicum autumnale. Colchicum autumnale, from the cones of the colchicum autumnale we extract a chemical called, that is called colchicine, as I have mentioned earlier, and it is used as mitotic poison, and it is also useful for development of polyploid in plants. These are the contents you need to remember related to family Liliaceae. Careful about it. Liliaceae monocot family. Over there, special features, they don't have sepals, petals separately, they have perianth, epiphyllous stamens. Floral organs are three or multiples of three. Blindly remember this. Is it okay? If they're asking what type of root system is there, what type of root system do you suggest in the Liliaceae members? Obviously, fibrous root system, because they are monocots. Like that, apply the knowledge what we have learned directly. If there is any special features, try to remember. Everything, if you are by hearting, that will be lot of confusion. Cruciferaceae family. Why they call this family as Cruciferaceae? The petals of this family appears like cross shape. Cruce means cross shaped petals. You see this corolla. These are all are members of the family Brassicaceae or Cruciferaceae. Because of cruce-shaped corolla, these members are called as Cruciferaceae. Do you remember earlier? Because of butterfly-shaped corolla, Legumineaceae are also called as Papillonoideae or Papillonaceae. Now here, because of the presence of cross-shaped corolla, they are called as Cruciferaceae, okay, which is commonly known as Brassicaceae, because in that family the well-known genus is Brassica. Brassica napus, Brassica oleracea, Brassica campestris, like that varieties are there. That's why the family is also called Brassicaceae. Cruciferaceae is also called Brassicaceae. This is commonly known as mustard family. Well known, world famous one in the family mustard. Let me describe generally how to remember Cruciferaceae. This is dicot family, but one thing, the flowers are tetramerous. What is that one? Tetramerous flowers. Then go to one by one. If it is dicot, remaining characters you can understand easily. Taproot system, then this one, that one. Okay. Then go to floral characters. When you talk about flowers, over there flowers, when it comes to corolla shape is crucifer shape or cruise shape. Okay. Next one. After that, when it comes to flower and its character, four or multiples of four. Over there, stamens are important in this criteria. In case of Brassicaceae member, stamens are six are there. The six stamens are arranged in the form of tetradynamous. Inner four are lengthy, outer two stamens are short. That's what I say. If there is an information that it has been mentioned in our morphological characterization, you try to remember that way. Don't try to by heart the family characters directly. Got it? So let us follow the remaining things. Habitat. Usually annual or perennial herbs and shrubs. Roots are taproot system. Of course, dicots. Herbaceous, branch directus, forget about it. Leaves, simple alternate phyllotaxy, petiolate, exstipulate. Underline that word exstipulate. Okay. Next one, floral characters. Racemose inflorescence. So far, one family we have discussed about cymose inflorescence, that is Solanaceae members. Later, we discussed about in case of Liliaceae member. Most often they have umbellate cluster. It's also a variety of cymose. Bisexual, usually actinomorphic, but sometimes underline that sometimes zygomorphic. But if they say example of actinomorphic flowers, you have to mention it as mustard. Mustard has actinomorphic flowers. Sepals 4, polysepalous, sepals 4. Usually dicots will have 5. It's an exception. 4. Polypetalous imbricate situation. Petals cruciform. Underline that word, cruciform. What do you mean by cruciform? Petals appears in cross shape. Okay. Androecium, stamen 6, tetradynamous. Underline that word. Androecium related to Brassicaceae members. They have tetradynamous. What does it mean by that? We have seen 6 stamens, 4 lengthy, 2 short. In case of Salvia and Ocimum santum, there we have seen there are 4 stamens, 2 are lengthy, 2 are short. That condition we call it as didynamous. But in case of mustard family, they have tetradynamous. Tetradynamous only fix. They even say sometimes didynamous, fix tetradynamous. Bicarpellary, gynoecium. Bicarpellary, syncarpus, ovary superior. Unilocular, underline that word. When it comes to Brassicaceae members, generally they have parietal placentation. In the parietal placentation, in the beginning they don't have septum in the ovary. That's why ovary appear like monolocular or unilocular. Later, due to the formation of false septum, so-called replum, they appear like they have 2 chambers. But initially single chamber, later become 2 chambers. When we were discussing about family Solanaceae, we mentioned they have gynoecium, that is bilocular, bicarpellary, syncarpus gynoecium. But when it comes to, they have obliquely placed one, obliquely. Do you remember that? Similarly, the speciality of this gynoecium, they have bilocular due to false septum formation, that's called replum. Parietal placentation, stigma is bifixed. Bifixed means 2 parts divided. Siliqua silicula, fruits. Siliqua silicula, what do we mean by this? Flying fruits developed by these members are called as flying fruit. That means the fruits can able to fly in the air. There is a development of small kinds of fruit. Sometimes this fruit can able to fly in the air. Okay, seeds are small, non-endospermic. Why the seeds are non-endospermic? Dicot. Floral formula, bract will be there, actinomorphic or zygomorphic. And be careful, this one already given in our NCERT book, as we have discussed about. Okay, semi-technical description of a flowering plant. Over there, they have given one floral formula. That floral formula belongs to mustard. You follow that one. That is a floral formula exactly you have to represent. Next one, food. Cabbage, cauliflower, turnip, radish used as vegetable, oil, mustard, medicines, Sisbrium officinalis, Nastica indica, Eureka sativa, no need, all of them. Next one, ornamental plants. Okay. They never ask that because those contents are a little bit difficult for us to remember. Next one, family Compositae or Asteraceae. Then come back to the story. Compositae or Asteraceae, they have a flower which is appear like a star. Star shaped flowers containing plants. We call them as, okay, Asteraceae members. Then it is also called Compositae. One important thing about this is the one of the most advanced families in the entire plant kingdom, because one insect can able to pollinate many flowers. It's a dicot family. Habitat vegetative characters, mostly annuals. Dicot family considers most advanced family among the angiosperms because single insect can able to pollinate many. Mostly annuals, rarely biennials and herbs, shrubs, sometimes trees. Taproot system, stem erectus, herbaceous, branched are okay, leave it. Leaves, usually simple but sometimes compound. No need to worry about phyllotaxy, etc. etc. Next one, inflorescence you need to remember here. When it comes to composite members, the well-known features of them having a flower which is appear like head or star-shaped appearance. In this, two types of floral parts will be there. Flowers. We can say in one inflorescence or in one head inflorescence, two types of flowers. One is ray florets, another one is disc florets. Over there, ray florets, disc florets may be both present in one flower. If it is, two types of flowers will be present on the same, and in some of the heads will be only one type of flower. For example, check sunflower. In the center disc florets, peripherally ray florets. But when you talk about marigold, only one type of flowers are present. That is called homogeneated head. This is called heterogeneated head. Anyhow, head will be having individual flowers. The individual flowers we call it as florets. Then they are talking about inflorescence head or capiticulum. They are surrounded by involucre of bracts. Bracts are going to form. You check it here. This is head inflorescence. These are covering the entire inflorescence. The covering parts we call it as involucre of bracts. Bracts will cover the entire inflorescence. Next one. Bracts will be there. Important one. First we are talking about the floral characters over there in the flower. Mostly bisexual. They may be heterogeneous, either having only ray florets or having only disc floret. That's called only one type of florets, homogeneous. Two types of one, heterogeneous. Heterogeneous head best example is sunflower. Homogeneous head best example is marigold or tagetes, having both flower, mostly bisexual, sometimes unisexual. Sometimes ray florets will become unisexual. Usually disc florets are bisexual. Epigenous usually pentamerous with reduction in the whorls. What do you mean by reduction in the whorls? Which means sepals, petals, such. Sometimes what happen in case of head inflorescence, flowers are very small. Because of the small nature of the flowers, their sepals, petals will be fused and they usually disappear. This appearance will make them more space, okay, inside the head. Flower is tubular, actinomorphic, ligulate. That means tongue shape. Zygomorphic, bractate, abractate. Tubular florets, disc florets. Okay, don't worry. Ray florets, disc florets. Separately we will discuss. Ray florets, when we talk about, they are present towards the periphery. They have one petal, or all the petals will be fused and appear like a tongue-shaped appearance. Zygomorphic, important. They have one time we have seen the zygomorphic in flowers in case of Fabaceae members. Next time only we are watching here. Pistillate, neutral, ligulate, epigenous. No need all those terms. Calyx. Absent are hairy pappus or scaly. Underline the word persistent. Persistent. What do you mean by persistent calyx? Even after the fertilization, the sepals will be present on the surface of our fruit. Such kind of persistent ones are called persistent sepals. We have already seen these persistent sepals when it comes to family Solanaceae. As I said, on the surface of the fruit of Solanaceae, greenish sepals are present. But in case of some members of Brassicaceae and some Asteraceae members, the Sepals will become fiber-like structures and they will help the fruit to be fly in the air. That condition we will call it as persistent sepals. Okay. Petals 5, gamopetalous, valvate estivation, ligulate, tongue shape. Forget about it. Androecium absent. What do you mean by androecium absent? Generally, they are female flowers. Female flowers. Ray florets. Not for all. Some of the members of Asteraceae, ray florets are. Here they have mentioned example sunflower. In sunflower, they don't have androecium. Gynoecium. Bicarpillary syncarpus. Ovary inferior. This is what I said. Earlier I told you, in the Asteraceae members, flowers are epigynous. Epigynous. One ovule in each locule, basal placentation. When inflorescence has only ray florets, they are bisexual and have syngenesious stamens too. What do you mean by syngenesious stamens? I wanted to show you them. Syngenesious. Syngenesious stamens. Catch this idea of syngenesious. Look at this. In this stamens, syngenesious. Look at this. Anthers are united, filaments are free. Anthers united, filaments are free. This condition we call it as syngenesious. Same thing I will ask in reverse. Filaments united, anthers are free. What do you call that situation? The situation we call it as adelphi. Do you remember monoadelphous, diadelphous, polyadelphous? Monoadelphous example, what you studied? Hibiscus. Diadelphous, Fabaceae members, pea bean, and polyadelphous, citrus. But here I am talking about their anthers are fused, filaments are free. Syngenesious. Just examples of syngenesious, our Asteraceae members. And also some Cucurbitaceae members do have these features, but syngenesious here we will confine to only our families. Next one. There is another condition there. Both filaments as well as anthers, both will be fused. If filaments anther both are fused, that's called synandrous. Synandrous most commonly identified in this Cucurbitaceae members. I have described it just to show what does it mean by syngenesious. Okay. Next one. Bicarpillary syncarpus ovary is inferior, unilocular, inferior, and you have to underline that word. When inflorescence has only ray florets, they have bicyclic. Forget about disc florets. Okay. In the center of head, bractate, bisexual. Underline that word, bisexual, because ray florets are generally female flowers, they are unisexual. Actinomorphic, tubular, pentamerous, and epigynous. Okay. Absent, which means calyx is absent. If it is present, pappus. Petals 5, gamopetalous, underline that word, tubular. In ray floret, that should be ligulate. In case of disc floret, that should be tubular. Valvate estivation. Stamens 5, epipetalous. Epipetalous. If petals are there, stamens attached to petals. Bicarpillary syncarpus, ovary inferior, unilocular. Okay, they have basal placentation. This is also mentioned in our NCERT book. Sunflower marigold has basal placentation. When we were discussing about placentations, the last one, sunflower marigold, basal placentation. Here the Asteraceae members, they are both. Neutral flowers. What do you mean by neutral flowers? Some flowers do not have androecium and gynoecium. That condition is called as neutral flowers. Androecium and gynoecium both are absent. Fruits, Cypsilla, generally they do not produce fruits. Gynoecium is absent. Means how do you produce fruits? Gynoecium only produce fruits. Their meaning of fruit not belongs to this one. Not belongs to neutral flowers. Their meaning of fruits is earlier disc florets and ray florets. Floral formula, remember? Bracts, zygomorphic or actinomorphic. This concept difficult to remember, but you remember Either zygomorphic or actinomorphic for ray fluorides, but generally for disc fluorides it is going to be zygomorphic. And remember, remaining all neutral flowers. Economic importance. Food. Lactica sativa lettuce. Elephantophus. They are leafy vegetables. Cardamus tinctorius. It's one variety. Cardamus tinctorius. It was used once upon a time as an alternative of saffron. It has so many medicinal usages. Once upon a time, it is used very often, and they even take it as in the form of tea or some kind of herbal medicines. But nowadays, it is outdated. Ornamental plant, Helianthus anus. It is sunflower. Sunflower is not just ornamental plant. Anyhow, it from there we extract oils. Tagetes, that's an ornamental one. Marigold. Commercial usage, perfume oils prepared from Ellipta recta. Okay. Pyrethrum. Now, one thing. Pyrethrin. It is a common insecticide sprayed once upon a time on the cropland. Nowadays, we are using variety of commercial pesticides. Once upon a time, as an insecticide, this one used to be applied. Pyrethrum. Important. Pyrethrum is a plant product. You can see all of them. Next one, Gramineaceae or Poaceae. This is another monocot family. Already we have seen one monocot family, that is Liliaceae. This is another monocot family. We have to remember some features. Again, out of all angiosperm, this is the largest family. All our cereals which we eat regularly, rice, wheat, whatever the cereals we eat, all are belongs to this family. In fact, the bamboo also belongs to this family. These members of the family are also called grasses. Not grass, grasses. Grasses are belongs to this family. That's called Poaceae. Grass family. It is one of the largest family among the angiospermic members. Habit, herbs, annuals, perennial shrubs, sometimes trees. Okay. Actually, tree like it is, not tree. Bamboo is not a tree. Bamboo is a grass. Bamboo has tree like appearance. Bamboo is not a tree. Root, adventitious, fibrous. Of course, because monocots. Branched and stilt roots. Let them. Stem, underground, rhizome, perennial grasses. In all perennial grasses. What do you mean by perennial grasses? Grasses, annual may be perennial. For example, our bamboo, as I said, it's a grass. Does the bamboo die in 1 year? It has been mentioned as bamboo grow for hundreds of years. We have also studied bamboo is an example of monocarpic plant. That means once in the lifetime, that plant is going to flourish after 50 years. Okay. Meanwhile, it will grow under the ground by the vegetative propagation with the help of its rhizome. Clump, conspicuous nodes. What do you mean by clump? Clump means unbranched stem. Let me say one thing. When we observe coconut, date palm trees, or else you observe a coconut over there. Have you seen a coconut plant which is producing many branches? Typically, we don't see it because coconuts do not have any kind of branches. It's only one stem, grows straight. Such kind of stems without any branches, we call them as clumps. Clumps. Is it okay? So they wanted to say that. Clump with conspicuous nodes. Coconut will also having conspicuous nodes. That means wherever the leaf has fall down, that area we will see a prominent notch. Sessile, alternate, simple, extrapolate, parallel venation. I told you monocots generally do not have stipules. Extrapolate. Only one plant so far I have mentioned which has stipule. That should be Fabaceae members. Spike or spikelet with many sessile or stacked. Now I wanted to discuss about inflorescence. People are little bit confused with the words that they have mentioned here. See, the inflorescence of maize. First, where are you? Inflorescence of maize. Seema? The inflorescence of maize is called spikelet or the spike of spikelets. That means spike. It's a kind of racemose inflorescence over there. This is a racemose inflorescence. In this is a racemose inflorescence, main one. It's growing like this continuously. Okay. Now the main one we generally call it as, it is in the form of, it's in the form of main one. This name is called rachis. Rachis. You can see here it is unbranched. For example, it has branches. The inflorescence axis, peduncle, what we call it. If it has branches, this branches is called rachilla. Main one is called rachis. On the rachilla, there is a development of a branch. See, this is called rachilla. It's a branch. In each rachilla, okay, that means this is rachis, this is rachilla. On each rachilla, maximum number of flowers will be produced would be 4 to 5. Maximum 5. You take it 5. Okay? And this rachilla has only 5 flowers. Very good. At the area where the rachilla has, this is rachis, the branch is called rachilla. On the part where rachilla has been developed, there are 2 reduced leaf-like structures are present. These reduced leaf-like structures we call it as glooms. Is it okay? Glooms. Are you catching what I am saying? Glooms. Glooms are reduced bract-like structure or reduced leaf-like structure called glooms. Now, this is rachilla. Here flowers are produced. Now one thing. When you talk about this is a flower. The flowers are immature flowers. That immature flowers are called as florets. What do you call them? Florets. As we have seen the term in Asteraceae members, the another area we are watching the term floret, that is Poaceae, reduced flowers. Okay. Since the flower is reduced, it would be covered by bracts. Bract. The bracts will have, names. Bracts, reduced bracts will be there. The bracts, I will take one flower separately. Now I am talking about, remember this is main axis, rachis. It has a branch, rachilla. On each branch, there are 5 maximum number of flowers will be produced. Where the branch has originated, that one will be having some kind of reduced leaves. Those reduced leaves are called as glooms. Next one. When we talk about these, look at this. Okay, glooms, 2 glooms will be there. Exactly 2 glooms. The 2 glooms are reduced leaves, lower gloom, higher gloom. Next, go to a flower. Flower is highly reduced. Flower is highly reduced. You cannot see in the flower sepals, petals, all those structures are not there, because the flowers of this family mostly depend on air pollination, anemophily. If the flower showing air pollination, does the flower need to be exuberant? I am here, you insect come and pollinate me. No need. That's why flowers have been hidden. The hidden flowers are here. Is it okay? The hidden flowers will be covered by bracts. Do you remember those terms? Bracts. Here, this is an inflorescence axis branch. These are called bracts. There are 2 bracts, not one. 2 bracts will be covering this reduced flower. Those bracts will have separate name. Lower bract is, which is large one, is called as lemma. The upper bract is called palea. Be careful. These are developed on a branch of inflorescence axis. These are developed at the origin of this branch. Those reduced leaves are, we call it as glume. Then on the flower, where sepals and petals are reduced, they are not distinctively appeared and they are often not going to be exuberant. Those areas are, the flower will be covered by two leaf-like structures. We can call them as bracts now. Those bracts we call as two varieties. One is called lemma, another one is called palea. Okay, go inside. We will have sepals, petals. Sepals, petals will be reduced, and the reduced sepals and petals are called lodicules, and then the ovary, the anthers. That's it. Okay, lodicules are nothing but reduced sepals and petals. Palea, lemma, reduced bracts, and glumes are nothing but the leaves that are originated on inflorescence axis. Clear? This is about the description regarding to family Poaceae. Nothing to worry. Even if you forgot some names, nothing will happen. Don't worry about it. Spikelet consists of short axis called rachilla, the branch. Spikelet, spike branch is called spikelet. On that there is a flowers producing part that is called rachilla, which is 1 to 5 sessile flowers. What do you mean by sessile? Flowers do not have stalk. At the base of the rachilla, two sterile scales called glumes are present. That's leaf-like reduced ones. The glumes are placed one and above on opposite sides. Above the glume, series of florets are present. Series of florets, maximum number 5. Each floret has inferior palea, lower side. Parietal, inferior, superior. Superior means top. Top will be lemma and inferior is palea. Flowers, bractate, bracteolate, they have bracts as well as bracteoles. Bracts modified in the form of glumes. Bracteoles modified in the form of lemma and palea. Zygomorphic, remember that. Zygomorphic flowers. We have seen the zygomorphic flower, ray florets and also Fabaceae members. Bisexual, okay. Exception, zea maize have unisexual flowers. Remember, maize is a monoecious plant. It has male and female flowers separately, but both are present on same plant. That's why they are called unisexual. Represented by perianth members. What did you call perianth members? Lodicules, because sepals and petals would be fused together. They are not distinct. Lodicules situated. Forget about them. Androecium, usually stamens 3. Why? Monocots. Filamentous long, anther is dithecous. No need to worry. Almost all plants will have dithecous. Gynoecium, monocarpellary, basal placentation. Okay. Superior, that's common. Inferior only in Asteraceae. Unilocular, single ovule, basal placentation, absent. Often stigma is feathery for air pollination. Fruit, caryopsis, flying fruit. Berry, okay. Seed, endospermic. Why endospermic? They are monocots containing a single cotyledon called scutellum. Wow, they are saying monocots will have scutellum. We know it already. Floral formula, you can make it. Cereals, wheat, maize, rice, barley, jia maize, bajra, sugar, grass, doob grass, okay, paper grass, no need to worry. Then the family, final one, Malvaceae. It's also called cotton family, because in this family, China rose and cotton are more valuable. China rose is ornamental, cotton is commercially more valuable. Vegetative characters, habit, annual, biennial shows, okay, no need to worry. Root, taproot system, because they are belongs to dicots. Stem, erectus, branch, cylindrical. Leaves, stipulate. Another family with stipulates. Dicot family it is. If it is come to monocot family, write them as exstipulate. Alternate phyllotaxis, simple petiole, reticulate venation, inflorescence. Underline the word solitary sign. What do you mean by solitary sign? When we were talking about inflorescence, I told you, whenever we talk about a shoot tip is modified into single flower, always that flower is single. That's called solitary inflorescence. Terminal racemose, flower, bractate, abractate, bisexual, actinomorphic, Calyx, sepals 5, Gamocephalus, valvate, estuation, these are all are there. China rose has been mentioned in so many areas in our morphological characters. Whatever the thing there, you will be identifying China rose. Corolla, petals 5, polypetalous, twisted estuation. China rose twisted estuation is given as example. Androecium, numerous, monoadelphous. Do you remember that? All the stamens, their filaments fused together around. Monothecous, underline that word monothecous. Because almost all plants will have dithecous anther. Malvaceae members are having, okay, Malvaceae members are having dithecous anther. Malvaceae, monothecous. Almost all will have dithecous, because I am watching some people are giving some comments. Parallel I am watching, at the time the words are missing. No need to worry. Dithecous most of them, but monothecous Malvaceae. Axial placentation. That is also given. Fruit dry, capsule, schizocarpic fruit. Schizocarpic fruit means the fruit with some kind of. If you observe schizocarpic fruit, the fruit will be like this, long. Tamarindus fruit. Such kind of fruits are called schizocarpic fruit. Seed one too many. Underline that word endospermic. This is a second family, but actually Malvaceae members. Okay, this you will never be asked. Malvaceae will have endospermic or non-endospermic. Okay. Floral formula: okra, cotton, urena, upendra. Once upon a time, this one is used as a medicine for dog bites. Abutilon indica, fibers, Gossypium, fibers of the. Remember, sunhemp fibers are extracted from the family of Fabaceae. Gossypium is another plant from where we extract fibers. Okay. Gossypium album, that's called cotton. Ornamental plant, China rose. These are the plants we need to talk about, the family Malvaceae. Now, final conclusion I wanted to tell you. Try to remember only the special characters regarding to the family. If a character that is common and you are by hearting it, nothing to worry about it. Is it okay? That's about families. In the next class, we will meet with another story. Now, is it okay? That's about today. Thank you. Bye.